How prevalent do you think drug use is in the tech industry? It's a question that few have asked, but it's one that needs to be addressed. The tech industry, often seen as the epitome of innovation and success, hides a darker side. This is an underreported issue, one that many choose to ignore. Studies paint an alarming picture. A rising number of tech professionals are turning to drugs. Anonymously, they tell tales of a stressful environment, of high demands and relentless pressure. The need to perform, to outdo, to constantly innovate pushes some into a dangerous path. They speak of late-night coding sessions fueled by stimulants, of anxiety silenced by depressants, and of a culture that often turns a blind eye. This isn't a story of a few isolated incidents, it's a pattern, a trend, an epidemic. It's a silent epidemic, and it's time we bring it into the light. Listen to the voices of those who have experienced it firsthand. From the heart of Silicon Valley to the bustling tech hubs of New York City, we've gathered stories of tech professionals who have walked down this perilous path. These individuals from different walks of life have one common thread tying them together: the struggle with drug use. First, let's hear from Anna. She's a seasoned software engineer who turned to stimulants to keep up with the grueling demands of her job. It started as a one-time thing, she confesses, a way to pull an all-nighter for a project deadline, but soon it became a crutch, a way to stay on top, to keep innovating. Next, we have John, a startup founder who fell into the trap of prescription drug misuse. The stress was unbearable, the pressure to succeed immense, John shares. I began with anxiety medication to cope, but it spiraled into something I couldn't control. Then there's Maya, a young and ambitious tech consultant who fell prey to the party culture of the industry. There were drugs at every party, every gathering, Maya tells us. It was almost a norm, a part of the work hard, play harder ethos. These narratives are not isolated incidents, but rather a mirror reflecting a widespread issue in the tech industry. The tales of struggle, of pressure, and of a culture that implicitly encourages substance abuse underscore the hidden epidemic that's been silently brewing. Each of these individuals has had their lives significantly impacted by drug use. From strained relationships to deteriorating health, from diminished creativity to a haunting sense of guilt, the repercussions have been profound and far-reaching. Finally, we hear from David, a former tech executive who grappled with opioid addiction. It nearly cost me everything, my family, my job, my life, David admits. It's a battle every day. These are real people with real stories. It's not just statistics. So, what can we do about this? The question echoes in the air, bouncing off the walls of our minds, demanding an answer, and the answer is multi-layered, as complex as the problem itself, but it's not impossible. The tech industry, with its innovative spirit and boundless creativity, can also innovate solutions to this problem. Let's start with mental health support. Too often, mental health is pushed to the sidelines, treated as an afterthought, or worse, a taboo. It's time to change that. Comprehensive mental health services need to be part and parcel of every tech company's employee benefit package. And not just as a token gesture, but as a thoughtful, well-implemented program that gives employees the help they need when they need it. But it's not just about services, it's about culture. A culture that glorifies overwork and underestimates the importance of balance is a culture that pushes people towards unhealthy coping mechanisms. So let's change the culture. Let's prioritize work-life balance, not just in words, but in actions. Let's make it okay to log off at a reasonable hour, to take breaks, to have a life outside of work. Let's make it okay to be human. And then there are policies, clear, firm, and fair policies against drug use. Policies that don't just punish, but also prevent. Policies that provide education about the risks of drug use and support for those who are struggling. Policies that recognize the complexity of drug use and addiction and address it with compassion and understanding. These solutions aren't just theoretical, they're already being implemented bit by bit in companies around the world. Experts and advocates are leading the way, showing us that change is possible, that a better way is within reach. But they can't do it alone. Support these initiatives. Stand against drug use in the tech industry. Your action can make a difference. Because at the end of the day, change doesn't just happen, it's made. And it's made by people like you. So let's make it together. Be sure to hit that like or subscribe button and keep being curious, beautiful, and continue learning. Check out some of my other videos and keep staying curious.